Side outfit since the 20s to lift the Junior Cup. In opposition, Alan Rough's Glenafton Athletic, beaten finalists last year, but ready to set the record straight. The only certainty, red and white ribbons on the cup. Decorated shop windows in Tayport this week, not too dissimilar from those in New Cumnock. Both places set to be ghost towns on Sunday. New Cumnock emptied last year as well, but goal number 4 for Auchinleck Talbot signalled the end of a Junior Cup dream for Alan Rough's Glenafton. A nightmare scenario for any football manager, a cup final drubbing made worse by the sight of local rivals lifting the trophy. Well, that was Auchinleck Talbot beating Glenafton Athletic in last year's Scottish Junior Cup final. But one question which has been niggling at the back of my mind is how come teams from here in South Ayrshire dominate the Scottish Junior Cup? I mean, Auchinleck have won it umpteen times, and anything they can do, next door neighbours Cumnock can do as well. They've also been there and got the medals. And now the team from just 4 miles up the road, Glenafton, looking to avenge last year's defeat by Auchinleck. Why are they all so good? New Cumnock Bowling Club turned out to be the best place to make inquiries. Whiling away the hours on the build-up to Sunday, some of the men associated with Glenafton's 1963 Cup final team beaten 2-1 by Irvine Meadow.
It's a mining village, Ken, and when you see a mining village here, you usually got a lot of good players coming from a mining village, which is what you've proved over the years today with the Talbot and Cumnock and that.
Well, there used to never be nothing else but play at football all the time, and I mean, I think they've just got a lot of good organisers later. I mean, you've got to give the boys that's running it today a wee bit of a pat in the back for doing it.
Jim, how does this Glenafton team compare to some of the teams in the past?
Well, what I've saw recently, I think we're a better team than we were last year. It's old football adage, I don't think they're as good as they were in my day, but...
The other two Valley sides, Cumnock and Talbot, have both been knocked out by Glen's Cup final opponents, Tayport.
Oh, certainly for Tayside football, it's absolutely fantastic. It's 64 years, believe it or not, since Dundee Violet won in 1929, and it'd be a tremendous boost for Tayside.
3-year-old Tayport may be lacking in tradition, but they're aiming to match and beat Glenafton in every other department. The Cumnock and Doon Valley would be claimed for the Kingdom of Fife if Glenafton lose out again on Sunday.
Tayport have done tremendously well in the short time they've been in the junior game. They've done really well. They beat Cumnock and they beat Auchinleck on the road to the final. So they'll be definitely hoping they can do a treble for the Cumnock and Doon Valley.
And if you're not going, you can see the whole game live on Scottish on Sunday. And 2 bits of senior football news tonight. Hearts have appointed
100 to 1 against them, and here they are 90 minutes away from winning it. Remarkable.
Yeah, Glenafton, they haven't won it as I said, but they've been over the course.
Yeah, semi-finalists 2 years ago and beaten finalists last year, and you feel that Ruffy's lads are due to get it right sometime.
Yeah, could be fairly even.
I don't think there'll be a lot in it, but I think Ruffy's lads, having been here last year, the experience might just tell.
So you're going for Glenafton?
Well, it'll disappoint Ruffy because I tipped them last year and they lost 4-0 of course, but I think Glenafton will win it, yeah.
Okay, David. Well, away back in November, 165 clubs went into the first round draw, and for Glenafton that meant a bye into the second round. They needed 2 matches to dispose of the northern team, Isle of Vale, then in turn had 3 home wins by the same 1-0 score against Camelon, Neilston and Cambuslang. After their biggest win of the competition, beating Dundee St Joseph's 5-0, they met the 1990 finalists, Lesmahago, in the semi-final.
This is Paul MacArthur. Well, a bit of dithering here. It's MacArthur again. MacArthur! And he scores for Lesmahago. So 10 minutes gone, and Lesmahago take the lead, but dreadful defending there. Well, claims for handball there, but still it's Montgomery getting in the cross. And that one dips into the net. And it's John Miller. Initially it was good work by Norman Montgomery. And then the dipping header, flipping over the goalkeeper from John Miller. We're in injury time now, as McFarlane plays that one through. It's a good ball to Montgomery. Miller's in the middle, so to is Brown. This is Brown! And Tom Brown puts Glenafton ahead. A good break forward. Delight among the Glenafton fans. And that's Tom Brown's 4th cup goal of the campaign.
Well, Tayport, like Glenafton, had home draws most of the way through the tournament. They conceded just 1 goal in their first 3 ties. Then they had a convincing 4-1 win at Cumnock, who were cup winners 4 years ago. A 5th round victory over Shettleston was followed by 3 attempts to beat local opponents downfield. And then it was their toughest battle, or so some people thought, taking on the cup holders, Auchinleck Talbot, at Firhill.
Tayport survived early Auchinleck pressure and scored against the run of play after 8 minutes. Dave Riley was upended in the box by Ross Finlay, and a penalty was awarded. Former Montrose player Hamish Mackay converted from the spot. Tayport had to work hard to keep their advantage in the first half, but after the break they took control. Hamish Mackay consolidated the position with a second goal, a header from Jackie Devine's cross. And 7 minutes from time, Mackay rounded off a memorable night, firing Riley's pass past Wilson to complete his hat-trick and put Tayport into the cup final by 3-0. A great night for the Tayside team and a truly magnificent achievement for a club who only joined the junior ranks 3 years ago.
Davey, as Ken said, it was truly magnificent, that achievement that night, because everybody thought, or most people thought, Auchinleck were going to get there.
Yes, I think people started to take notice of Tayport when they went to Cumnock and won in the quarter-final by winning 4-1. But nobody expected them to beat Auchinleck with their experience. And obviously Hamish Mackay, the man who scored the hat-trick, is the man to watch today.
Sure. Not only did they win, of course, that night here at Firhill, but they won well, they won convincingly.
Yes, well, that was what I think surprised people. Auchinleck were obviously favourites. By all accounts, Tayport enjoyed a bit of luck on the night. But you need that in cup competition, and they're here today.
Feels strange not to have Auchinleck here, doesn't it?
Yeah, looking back to last year, we had a couple of great goals from Gordon Mills, and if we get anywhere near that kind of quality of goals today, it'll be a great game.
Absolutely right. Well, with 10 minutes to kick off, Ken McRobb has been talking to the 2 men who will be leading out the teams, Alex Kennedy of Glenafton and Andy Somerville of Tayport.
Alec Kennedy, Glenafton out there for the 2nd year in a row. Have you learnt lessons from what happened last season?
Well, I hope so, aye. Got a stronger pool together this year and hope to do a lot better than last
Was
year.
it a little bit of nerves perhaps last season?
I think I played a bit, aye.
But you're obviously a lot more confident this time round.
Aye, well, I wanted to tone for last season.
Now, your opposition are comparative unknowns in the junior world, although in recent seasons they've been making themselves known.
Aye, well, we played them last year and we beat them 3-1 last year, so the boys are quite confident.
Andy Somerville, Tayport, it's been a bit of a, what can you call it, a dream come true, to use a football cliche? 3 seasons and you're in the final.
Yeah, it certainly has been a dream come true, yes. All the boys are looking forward to it.
What's the build-up been like?
Unbelievable. Everything's went like clockwork.
I dare say you're taking a fair-sized support down, not just from Fife, but from Dundee in that area too.
We've got the best support in the land, and you'll find that out today.
Now, you're up against a junior team with a reasonable pedigree, but like yourselves, they haven't won the cup either. But that presumably isn't putting you off.
Well, it's a pity because they'll not be winning the cup, because we'll be taking the cup back home.
So, as you might expect, words of confidence coming from both camps, and we'll take a break there. When you rejoin us, we'll be set for the final of the 1993 Scottish Junior Cup. Hello again. Well, we're just minutes away from the start of the OVD Scottish Junior Cup final. Davey, it's such a big occasion for all of these players. The danger is the occasion itself could overshadow it.
Well, that's what happened to Glenafton last year, Jim. They really froze. But there's a great atmosphere in the ground. The pitch is in remarkably good condition for this time of the year. 2 sides who like to pass the ball, so we keep our fingers crossed that we get a great game.
You've gone for Glenafton. A possible scoreline? Let me put you right in the spot.
I think they might just shoot it. I feel that they're due to go one better than they did last year.
So just win it by an odd goal?
They'll win it by the odd goal.
All right. Well, let me now hand you over to our commentary team this afternoon. Summariser Gordon McQueen and match commentator Jerry McNee.
So the perfect day here at Firhill for a game of football. The fans still streaming into the ground, and there's no doubt that most of the Glenafton fans travelling up the road today are hopeful that they can overcome the disappointment
of last season. As you heard from Jim and from Davy, Tayport just 3 years in the junior ranks, hoping to take the trophy back north, and it really is a terrific story for Tayport. Amateur status since 1947, and now chasing the biggest prize in junior football. Well, of course, the juniors have provided so many big names over the years, the likes of Bertie Hall, Tommy Burns, Dixie Deans, Willie Johnson, John Gregg, and in more recent times, I suppose, Dalgleish, Jordan, and the man alongside me, Gordon McQueen.
Yes, well, I'm certainly listening to David there in the studio. I think he's got it 100% right. Glenafton did freeze in last year's final, and they'll be hoping to put in a much better performance this year. But I think it'll be very difficult to pick a winner here today, because, I mean, Tayport, what a brand, nearly a new junior club, they've only been in existence 3 years or what, and they've had some remarkable results getting to the final. I mean, to get out to Cumnock and come away with a victory in the Scottish Cup, something else. And of course, they beat Auchinleck in the semi-final as well. So I think it's going to be a tight game here today, and a good one. Both teams like to play a bit of football.
So here come the teams, led out there by John Robotham, the referee. So a huge occasion for both clubs and for the supporters. There's Joe Black, who is the secretary of the Junior FA and has put in a lot of work. And Alec Kennedy now leading out the men from New Cumnock. So a huge roar going up from their supporters. And of course there will be a new name on the trophy at the end of the afternoon. Either side having won it. Glenafton with the disappointment of last year and the previous year, when they reached the semi-final, to get out of the system here this afternoon. So a healthy crowd, I reckon about 4,000 travelling up from New Cumnock, and a couple of thousand travelling down from Tayport, which of course is in North Fife, although the club itself playing in the Tayside region, and they've been promised 2 lots of civic receptions should they win this afternoon, have Tayport, so the incentive is there for them. But a very colourful occasion. So fans streaming down the streets here in Maryhill over the last few hours, and really a gala atmosphere. Well, such is the strength of the Ayrshire region that only once since 1985 has it failed to produce a finalist. In fact, last year 3 of the 4 semi-finalists came from Ayrshire, and of course this year they've provided 2 again. And Ayrshire even providing the music this afternoon. Auchinleck, although they're not represented, have provided the band, who are Scottish junior champions. So the various dignitaries being introduced to the sides. But Glenafton having to make a change to their pre-match plans, and Ian Gray has been drafted in this afternoon. So a change to the defence there. John Halpin failing a fitness test. So Glenafton, founded back in 1930 in their 3rd final. In 1963 they lost here at Firhill to Irvine Meadow by 2-1, and then last season losing out 4-0 to Auchinleck, who were victims to Tayport, also at this ground. And of course Tayport's first final, as I said earlier, founded in 1947 as amateurs, and really great achievements over the past few years. They reached the quarter-finals last year, but lost out to Glenafton down at New Cumnock by 3-1. So there's a lady entering the spirit of the occasion. Of course, we will have a conclusion to this match this afternoon. There will be 30 minutes extra time if necessary, and then penalty kicks if required. And of course, Tayport, we've heard, have Jack Black, the sports expert, mind expert, working for them in recent times and geeing them up a bit, and he was brought into play just before the 3-0 win over Auchinleck. And introduced to them, incidentally, by Liz McColgan. Her brother Kevin Lynch is in the Tayport squad.
I think both sets of central defenders, Jerry, are going to be busy today. Obviously, looking at both teams, Hamish Mackay and Dave Riley look at an extremely useful partnership, as do Tom Brown, of course, as he's going into the senior ranks, he's side for Kilmarnock, and Norman Montgomery up front for Glenafton, who scores goals for fun.
Tom Brown was also being wooed by Clyde, but Kilmarnock, obviously, a more attractive proposition at the moment, having got themselves back into the Premier League. So big day this for Tom Brown, who has 4 cup goals to his credit. So let's have a look at the teams now. And the Glenafton show 5 changes from the side which lost last year's final here to Auchinleck. And skipper Alex Kennedy, again wearing the number 5, is hoping that this time he'll get his hands on the trophy. And an important player in the quest for silver will be striker Norman Montgomery, who has 5 cup goals so far, including a hat-trick in the quarter-finals against Dundee St Joseph's. Tayport had to delay their line-up because of injury to skipper Andy Somerville, but he's fit and they're unchanged from the 3-0 semi-final win over holders Auchinleck. The scorer of all 3 goals in that match last month was Hamish Mackay, who's struck 8 times so far in the cup, and whose partnership with Dave Riley, as Gordon just said, has brought more than 70 goals to the Zayside region club this season. Now, the referee is John Robotham from Kirkcaldy, representing the Fife region, and he handled one of the semi-finals last year between Auchinleck and Whitburn, and he's also been a linesman at Ibrox Stadium in the match between Rangers and Dundee. 40,000 people there that day, so he doesn't lack big occasion experience. His linesman Ray McNabb and John McElhinney, also experienced officials. So this tournament going now for 107 years, and even 2 world wars couldn't interrupt it. First final way back in 1886-87. That final played down in Govan. So the match gets underway in front of this noisy crowd. And right away, Tayport on the defence. This is Norman Montgomery pushing forward for Glenafton, trying to make an early impact. And it's Brown now. And the free kick awarded. Conceded there by Sean Wilkie. And the referee unhappy, and he wants it retaken. And this is Dave Walker for Glenafton. Riley happy to let the ball run out of play for the throw-in to Tayport. And this is the other Riley in the team, Paul. It's picked up now by Norman Montgomery, deep in his own half, but Tayport pushing forward. Well, in the semi-final, Tayport soaked up a lot of pressure in the early stages from Auchinleck. They're based in sound defence, but they're under pressure at the moment. That was good play there by McFarlane. This is Scott Archer. And the chance goes a-begging. Well, John Miller was lurking on the far side, but a good break forward there by Glenafton, and that will give them and the supporters plenty of confidence.
He made a bit of a hash of that, Scott Archer there. I mean, it was a good run forward with David McFarlane, slipped him a nice ball, and it was a very poor cross.
Dave McFarlane, of course, won a League Cup medal with Rangers back in 1986. In a team that included McCoy's, Butcher and Durant to come on as a substitute that day. So a highly experienced player for Glenafton is Dave McFarlane. We'll be looking for a lot from him this afternoon. before last season's 4-0 win by Auchinleck over Glenafton. The previous 5 finals had finished 1-0. But you get the feeling, the way this game has opened up, that there will be goals here this afternoon. So this is Paul Riley with the throw-in for Tayport. Somerville has moved well forward. That's hooked away by Dave Walker. Only as far as Paul Riley. This is Mackay. Well, Alan Rennie is stretched out in his own penalty area and will require some treatment. The junior international sweeper taking a knock in those exchanges.
He's obviously suffered a little bit of a head knock there in that collision with in the Tayport attack there, but we could do with him back in his feet, because he's an influential player, Alan Rennie. I've watched him many times. He used to play for Burnley side, the team that I've supported most of my life, and he forms a very good partnership with Alec Kennedy.
Signed from Burnley last summer. And there's Alan Ruff, the Glenafton manager, who of course spent so many years here at Firhill, and during those great Partick Thistle days for him, winning no fewer than 53 caps for Scotland, and was also named Player of the Year by the Football Writers Association. So happily for Glenafton, Alan Rennie back on his feet, but he will go behind goal for a bit of treatment. No sign of a change being made at the moment, certainly this early in the game. This is Dave Walker for Glenafton. Headed away by the tall figure of Andy Somerville. Dave Walker, very hard-working midfielder. And he's already buzzing about in this match, as you would expect. Nice little cut back there. And a good interception by Lenny Lowe. Wearing the number 2 jersey this afternoon. In the past he's worn number 3, but he tends to favour the right side of the field. Somerville's well forward again. That's headed away though by Scott Archer. Returned by Spalding. Away by Walker. So 5 minutes played, still no scoring here in this OBD Junior Cup final at Firhill in Glasgow. Kennedy for Glenafton, headed down there by Brown, returned by Spalding. This is Jackie Devine, very tricky player floating it in, but well handled by Chris Kelly, and he wastes no time. Breaking through now. This is Miller, but he had no support whatsoever. Glenafton getting the break of the ball, but Miller looking around there for his teammates and no one there. So the chance goes a begging.
Yeah, snatched a little bit at that one. I thought he might have carried it a little bit forward. I mean, he was well out in the open, but had a lot of go at goals and not a particularly good shot.
This is Devine. Hunter. Hunter again, digging in hard. It's cleared by Walker though. Knocked on by Montgomery. Got the offside flag up just below us. So a good atmosphere inside the ground. And the chant of Tayport going up. As they attempt to win this trophy for the first time. Glenafton hoping it will be third time lucky. And they're losing both previous finals here at Firhill. There's certainly no sign of nerves from them so far this afternoon. Taken away by Kennedy. This is Miller for Glenafton. Popped up in the left now. They're trying to get it through to Montgomery. This is Wilkie playing it through for Tayport. Chris Kelly, the Irish-born goalkeeper, with the long clearance. The Miller's in there. And cover provided by Sean Wilkie. And they were taking a knock as he collided with Fraser Mann. Wilkie limping there. He provided the cover. John Miller snapping away at his heels. Both players taking a bit of a knock there. Miller is okay. And Wilkie back on his feet. And Sean Wilkie in his second spell at Tayport. He spent last summer in Australia with Central FC of Auckland. He also had a spell with Brechin where he played 50 games, so he's none the worse, and the referee restarts the game. Caused it an accidental collision. Chris Kelly, the goalkeeper, reinstated from Hull City. It's another long clearance. On there by Brown, cleared by Wilkie. This is Montgomery battling for it now. And he's fouled there by Jimmy Hunter. So the free kick goes Glenafton's way. Oh, this is Dave Walker. And Dave McFarlane forward there, signalling for it. And Somerville happy to let that one drift behind. Andy Somerville, the skipper, let that one drift behind for the goal kick. And Dave Walker, busy as ever in his first season with the Glens, signed from Stranraer, and has senior experience on his days at Kilmarnock. So 10 minutes played.
I think, I guess here, Jerry, I think it was a head injury Alan Rennie's received. But Andy Somerville, who we've seen in action at the other end, he's a player that hasn't played for quite some time, so I suppose you've got to question his match fitness. And he'll certainly have his hands full today with Tom Brown and Norman Montgomery. So Alan Rough obviously does not want to disturb his team line-up, and Alan Rennie, well bandaged up, comes back into the fray. It's Paul Wiley's header, and it's a free kick now to Tayport. This is Somerville. It's headed on by Mackay, but straight into the hands of Kelly. And Mackay hoping to get a better touch in that one. Kennedy beating Wiley to it. Tayport have it again. And Lenny Lowe happy to let that one go behind for the goal kick. So a good healthy attendance here this afternoon, but a sign of changing times. The record attendance was for Petershill against Irvine Meadow back in 1950-51. 77,560 people crowding into Hampden Park and paying just over £6,000 to watch that particular match. But a good, healthy crowd here this afternoon, making plenty of noise. And that ball goes Glenafton's way, and it's Lenny Lowe to take it. And they're battling for it. It's knocked forward by Spalding. No one there to take advantage. And Chris Kelly, who succeeded Alan Ruff in goal. He lost his place earlier in the season, but won it back again.
Slow playing it through there, and a handball given against Hamish Mackay.
Yeah, you were mentioning the big crowds, Jerry, up in Meadow Petershill. I think those days are gone now in junior football. In fact, it was in the 50s and 60s when the junior football used to be massive attendances. And in fact, my father played for the Lade side in the final in 1952 against Camelon with 67,000 at the game. In fact, Alan Hansen's dad at centre half for Camelon that day used to get huge crowds at the semi-final. But in saying that, there's a big crowd here this season, big healthy crowd, and they're making a lot of noise.
Well, Billy Coventry has taken a knock, and I just wonder if he'll be able to continue. It doesn't look like it. Hooked off by Jimmy Hunter. He appears to have injured his left wrist. So a couple of injuries taken in the early stages of this match. Just over 13 and a half minutes gone. Alan Rennie already bandaged up for Glenafton, and Billy Coventry being helped off. He'll receive some treatment.
I very much doubt if we'll see him back on the park, Jerry. It's a great shame, the biggest day probably of his life.
So we're having a look at him before taking a decision on a substitution. Meanwhile, Alan Rennie, the other walking wounded there, knocking it forward. This is Spalding, well challenged by McFarlane. But then steps Jimmy Hunter. Free kick though given against Hunter. Free kick to Glenafton. Very combative player, Jimmy Hunter, who's won several Man of the Match awards this season. So Billy Coventry has been taken to the dressing room. I see him just disappearing across the tunnel there. Meanwhile, play continues with this free kick to Glenafton. Well wide of target. Disappointing effort there from Scott Archer. Well, he's been a bit ambitious with these efforts so far in this game as the Bellshill-born midfielder. So 15 minutes gone here in the Junior Cup final. Glenafton 0, Tayport 0. Fraser Mann to take this kick for Tayport. Signed a couple of years ago from Lochie United. This is Spalding. Mackay lays it off. It's knocked away though by Dave Walker. Brown's giving chase here. And it's Sean Wilkie who concedes the throw in. He's under a lot of pressure. Brown was snapping away. Montgomery was close by. This is Scott Archer with the long throw. That's Alec Kennedy stepping in for Glenafton. Playing it through in the direction of Walker. That's behind for the goal kick. Maybe just as well that one didn't go out of the park, because although the junior FA provided the match ball today, they did indicate to both clubs they should bring some spares with them. This isn't quite the Premier League. From Walker. Already seen a lot of them in this game. This is Montgomery. He's shouted all the way by Somerville. He's forced to backtrack a bit here though. That's Ian Gray stepping in, playing it through. Brown's in there. It's well taken by Fraser Mann. It's forward now for Jimmy Hunter to chase, but the ball out of play. Well, Jimmy Hunter looking for a medal today to add to the Scottish Schoolboy Winners' medals. He won it under 16 and under 18 level. So it would fairly complete the set for him. And the linesman's flag has gone up. Free kick is to Glenafton. Alan Rennie managing to play on. despite this problem. Tom Brown there signalling for the ball. It's played in his direction. He climbs well for it, but Andy Somerville's above him. Turned by Lenny Lowe. Somerville getting the touch again, and that's out of play for the corner kick to Glenafton. So perhaps Tayport feeling the nerves just a bit in this, their first final, and Glenafton learning a lot from their experience of last season. So Dave Walker coming over to take the corner kick. Alec Kennedy, the Glenafton skipper, has moved into the Tayport penalty area. Played into the near post. Kennedy gets a touch, a chance on here for McFarlane, and it's blocked and swept away by Mackay. So an anxious moment for the Tayport fans. A bit of misunderstanding there between Brown and Walker, and the ball was out of play for the throw to Tayport. This is Mackay. Put forward by Grant Patterson. Devine was in there challenging for it. It slid off though by McFarlane. The upward one for Walker. O'Reilly got his head to that one. So the long ball played through but knocked away by Patterson. Played through now for Brown, but that one just too far ahead and goes behind for the goal kick. So some activity over on the Tayport bench now. It looks as though Grant Cushney will be coming on to replace Billy Coventry, who was taken off with an arm injury. This is Kennedy for Glenafton. Through for John Miller. A little stumble there by Paul Riley. Miller plays it through. It's Brown almost getting the touch to it. It's Patterson who blocked it. This is Miller again. So 20 minutes played, still no scoring, and a high wide shot from Lenny Lowe. Former Stranraer player.
Yeah, just never really got over that one and ballooned it way over the bar, but certainly Glenafton have made much the better start to this game, and in fact Tayport have looked very nervous, particularly defensively.
So Brown almost getting the touch there, but good cover coming from Grant Patterson. And then it was Miller who got another stab at it. But Lenny Lowe coming in, the ball cleared there by Andy Somerville, and Lenny Lowe sending it high and wide of target.
It wasn't an easy one, although, but we just failed to get over that ball, but it would have been a spectacular goal if it went in.
In the meantime, Grant Cushney, wearing number 14, has come on for Tayport. There he is, Grant Cushney. And meanwhile, the referee is calling over Norman Montgomery for a rather rash challenge on Sean Wilkie. So we'll have the first booking of the afternoon. The referee immediately calling over the Glenafton player. So the yellow card is shown. And Sean Wilkie is back on his feet after that exchange. This is Montgomery, little touch to Archer. This is Miller. And some good cover provided there by Jimmy Hunter. Played towards Mackay, he's out jumped by Kennedy. And a high boot. And against Dave Riley. So the free kick goes to Glenafton. The former Forfar player, Dave Riley, and he and Hamish Mackay have managed something in the region of 70 goals between them this season, so both men will have to be very carefully watched indeed. And while it's Alan Rennie to take it. Mackay. Struck through there by Devine. Mark Spalding well forward, but failing to keep that one in play. And it's a throw in to Glenafton. Well, like Grant Patterson, Mark Spalding, the next downfield man, signed 3 years ago. That's through now to Montgomery. Some slack play in the defence, and certainly they were looking a bit square. Patterson doing some good defensive work there for Tayport, no doubt about that. Montgomery almost breaking clear. Well, the ball drifts out of play for the throw-in to Glenafton. This is Brown. And the ball coming off the head of Sean Wilkie, and the throw-in to Glenafton. Still no scoring here at Firhill. Midway through the first half, and it's Walker who takes the throw to Montgomery. Trying to shake off the attentions of Wilkie. They're playing it through, but the ball's out for the throw-in, this time to Tayport.
They've just not settled down at all, Tayport. Particularly defensively, they look a bit hesitant and a little bit disorganised, and the midfield aren't really getting on the ball, and in turn Mackay and Riley, who we know are good players, are just getting no service at all.
Look at a high scoring tournament so far, Gordon, but just big match nerves, you reckon?
Well, certainly that seems to be the case so far. It's obviously a big day for these guys. I mean, probably the biggest games of their life. But the midfield players need to start getting on the ball and getting good service into Mackay and Riley, because they're more than useful.
Played out in the direction of Kushney, but cover provided from Lenny Lowe. He has to concede the corner kick, and he's unhappy with the decision. The referee indicating the ball will come off his shoulder. So perhaps a chance now for Tayport to put on some pressure with 25 minutes played. So forward goes Andy Somerville, but it's played shot to the near post. This is Mackay. Not far away. He carries a terrific goal threat, as Gordon was just saying. 8 cup goals so far, including 2 hat-tricks. One of them, as we heard earlier, in the semi-final against Auchinleck.
Yeah, it was little Jimmy Hunt, the playmaker there, that flighted that one in, and he tried a little delicate head, and it wasn't that far away. It's a nice little cross in from Jimmy Hunter, but it was a difficult one for Mackay.
So Hamish Mackay sent off last year against Glenafton. I'm sure he's learned his lesson from that. He just arrived at Tayport at that particular stage, and it really put his team under a lot of pressure that day. They lost by 3 goals to 1. So they're hoping to make amends. Meanwhile, that's headed away by Alan Rennie. He looks like a victim of the mumps out there. But certainly, since he was bandaged up, he's stuck well to the task. Was knocked through by Dave Riley. Coming to nothing. So Glenafton showing a lot of changes from even 2 years ago. Alan Ruff has rung the changes, and 5 new men in this final this year from last season. Ian Gray, Alan Rennie, Dave Walker, Scott Archer and John Miller, all playing in their first final. And this is Walker. Shadowed all the way by Hunter. He's clearly displeased with the decision, but here comes Walker again, and the ball goes behind this time for the goal kick. And this final here this afternoon, the second in consecutive years at Firhill in the last decade or so. There have been 2 at Ibrox, 2 at Hampden, 4 at Rugby Park, and 1 at Brockville. Firhill definitely has a history with this Junior Cup final. The first one played in this ground way back in 1928. Frank Patterson clearing for Tayport. It's returned by Kennedy. Brown's in there battling for it and giving away the free kick. A foul there by Brown on Somerville. Well, Tom Brown missed the quarter-finals because of suspension. Former Galway Thistleman. And conceding the free kick. And it's Fraser Mann coming well out of his goal to take this one. With Riley well forward and signalling for it. More towards Kushney. He gets a little touch, but a free kick against Kushney. On Archer. Will require some treatment. So Kushney backs off. He was with Riverside Athletic before turning junior 3 years ago. So this was the challenge. The referee was well forward with the play. And the judge that Kushney had committed the foul. So some treatment now for Scott Archer. He's 22 years of age. He has 1 cup goal to his credit this season. Signed last summer from Albion Rovers. Certainly been around. He had a spell at Clyde and Hamilton, and says that he joined Glenafton in the hope of getting back into senior football. He feels at 22 years of age that there's a chance to get back there again. Well, he's back on his feet. And the match will restart with the free kick to Glenafton.
You wonder maybe, Jerry, if Marlon Ruff should be getting a crack at senior football, because it really is a terrific achievement bringing Glenafton to 2 successive junior cup finals, and just wonder if any of the bigger clubs have taken notice of the good job that he's doing.
And of course the possible treble one for him this season. The League Championship is all but won, and his side also in the semi-finals of the Ayrshire Cup. If they can win here this afternoon, it could be a marvellous season for him, and he certainly doesn't hide his ambition to get back into the top grade. Meanwhile, it's Lenny Lowe flipping it through. It's Lowe again, forcing the play forward, challenge by Kushney. Picked up now by Jimmy Hunter. So half an hour played here at Firhill in the OVD Junior Cup final. It's Glenafton 0, Tayport 0. And the ball out of play for the throw. Free kick, I should say, to Glenafton. This is Ian Gray. And Paul Riley happy to let that one drift behind for the goal kick. Well, Tayport, only the 3rd Tayside club to reach the final since 1887. Dundee Violet won the cup at Dens Park back in 1929. And a 4-0 win over Denny Hibbs. 2 goals incidentally by an inside left called Riley that day. And there are 2 Rileys in the Tayport side. I wonder if that could be an omen, but it's Glenafton pushing the play forward. And the referee recalling the play, and it's a throw-in. Alan Ruff has been over this course before, and of course Andy Dunlop, joint manager, along with him, another former Partick Thistle player. Again, the referee stepping in. Free kick to Tayport. It's Jimmy Hunter to take it. Mackay just on the edge of the Glenafton penalty area. The man who put Auchinleck to the sword, but it's Somerville who's come forward. He gets in the header. Well handled by Chris Kelly. Well, the Tayport captain bringing his height and weight to bear for that set piece.
That was a good leap here by Andy Somerville. Way above David McFarlane.
Meanwhile, at the other end, the offside flag has gone up. Lenny Lowe under a bit of pressure. First time header to Archer. He runs into trouble though in the shape of Mark Spalding. But handball against the Tayport player. Another ex-downfield man is Mark Spalding, 29 years of age. Signed 3 years ago. Montgomery signalling for the ball, giving some instructions to his colleagues as it's played forward by Rennie. This is Montgomery, twisting and turning, doing well to get in the cross. Well, claimed for handball against Mark Spalding. It was Dave Walker who played the ball, and claims immediately that Mark Spalding had handled, but the referee on the blind side waving play on. He didn't have a clear view of it. Good play by Dave McFarlane. But sending the ball straight to Fraser Mann. So let's have a look at that incident. Penalty claim.
I think they've been a little bit fortunate here, Tayport, because when Norman Montgomery whips this one in, Walker up for the header. Now that's for me that's handball.
So Tayport is off with a definite penalty there. Of course, the linesman on that side of the field was also on the blind side. And John Robotham awarding the free kick now to Glenafton. Fraser Mann getting things organised at the back. Well forward, it's McFarlane who takes it, and Fraser Mann happy to let that one go behind for the goal kick. So signed in 1991 from Lockheed United prior to Tayport entering their initial Division 1 campaign. He also played amateur with Springfield United. So 10 minutes left of this first half. And there's the Tayport manager, Dave Bakey. Chested down by Alan Rennie, and the ball's out of play for the throw-in to Tayport.
I think Dave Baker, the Tayport boss, must be very disappointed with his team's performance so far. They just really haven't played at all. But in saying that, there's no real damage done when they scored it still at 0-0.
Well, 24 goals have scored so far in this campaign. Played through to Mackay, and shadowed all the way by Rennie. So it's Hamish Mackay, and the ball goes behind for the goal kick. Well, Hamish Mackay, signed a year ago from Montrose, a very versatile player, and also dropped back to defence when necessary. And he won 3 caps for Junior Scotland when with Lockheed Hart. Outfield by Grant Patterson, being chased by Riley. Well handled by Chris Kelly. This is Brown into a challenge with Paul Riley. And the Hunters back there helping out as well. Somerville. Off the head of Kennedy, under pressure from Dave Riley, and that's Tayport's ball. Jackie Devine. Good play by Devine, getting away from Gray. Mackay's in there. Now the counter-attack is on. That's put out by Wilkie. for Jackie Devine. It's a throw in now to Glenafton.
If Tayport could start getting some width in this game and getting the ball out to Jackie Devine, get him knocking crosses in, because Hamish Mackay is very dangerous indeed in the air. As we just seen there, a little knockdown, a good header earlier in the game, and of course, anybody that watched the semi-final against Auchinleck would know how dangerous he was in the air.
Well, that's Kennedy clearing. It's picked up by Andy Somerville. The game heading a bit of a dip at the moment. Still no scoring here at Firhill. This is Mackay for Tayport. Goes down by Lenny Lowe. Gets support there from Kushney, the substitute. Switch of play now to Paul Riley. Tayport with plenty of players forward, but it's given away straight to Alec Kennedy. Picked up now by Dave Walker for Glenafton. Comes off the head of Kushney.
There's not really a player stamped his authority in the game as yet. I mean, I was looking to Jimmy Hunter to do that for Tayport, and of course Dave Walker in the centre of the park for Glenafton. I mean, we watched Jerry, Dave Walker having an outstanding game here in the semi-final against Les Mahago, but he's been somewhat quiet in this first half.
That's Walker in there again for Glenafton. Upfield by Patterson. Taken down by Rennie. It's out of play for the throw to Tayport. Well, Gordon, although the day belongs to Glenafton and Tayport, it would be remiss of us not to mention Billy Young of Auchinleck, who announced his retirement this week. A terrific captain for the team that won the cup so many occasions in recent seasons.
Yeah, an astonishing club. Bad result for them yesterday. They lost it to Cumnock, their local rivals, with 3,500 at the game, but they really have been a remarkable junior side, and it seems strange that they're not here today. Well,
Billy Young watching this transmission this afternoon, no doubt thinking back to better days. So 40 minutes played here at Firhill. Glenafton 0, Tayport 0. Spalding wins it. Now it's Kushney forcing his way through. Laid off there by Dave Riley. This is Paul Riley. And one of the Tayport players has gone down. There was an incident off the ball. He was inside the centre circle. And the referee just calming things down. I think Dave Riley taking a bit of a knock, but a scrap there involving Kushney.
Yeah, I think
and
it's
Archer.
now it's just a little bit of barging and green six and half a dozen.
It's Kushney, in fact, who required some treatment, but he's fine again. A little skirmish with Scott Archer.
There was nothing really in that at all.
It's a word from the referee, and the match will now get underway with the throw-in to Tayport. Somerville's up there, gets a good touch on it, but just ahead of Mackay. Andy Somerville, the skipper, trying to lift his side. Meanwhile, this is Brown breaking through. And the cover provided by Sean Wilkie. So just under 3 minutes of the first half left here at Firhill. Still no scoring. This is Montgomery for Glenafton. And taken out of the play. And it's a free kick. So Montgomery moving forward there. And it's Dave Walker to take the free kick. Not properly cleared by Grant Patterson. It's Picked up by Miller. One dipping over. And header going in from McFarlane.
It was a good ball that was whipped in there by Miller, but he just gets under that one a little bit, mistimes his jump. And sails way over the bar. But they've certainly been the most positive side in the first half of Glenafton. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
So McFarlane carrying a bit of mud in his face there. Meanwhile, it's Cushney pushing forward for Tayport. Trying to take on Lenny Lowe, but the ball going behind for the goal kick. So about a minute and a half of this first half left. Meanwhile, we have a streaker on the field. Which has brought proceedings to a halt.
I think if I had a belly like that, Jerry, I wouldn't be taking my clothes off too quickly.
He's gone back into the crowd, and not quite yet, but the constabulary are moving in. So we're inside the final minute plus streaker time.
I think he'll be watching the second half of Maryhill Police Station.
Somerville's header, picked up by Mackay, played through by Spalding. This is Jackie Devine, but the ball had come off Ian Gray, and Tayport have the throw-in. So now just about to move into any time to be added on by the referee. And perhaps the last chance here for Tayport in this first half. Paul Riley it is, with the throw. A long one in towards the near post. Somerville's up there. It's headed away, though, picked up by Miller. Knocked away by Montgomery deep in his own half. Done by Wilkie. Bit of a misheader there by Jimmy Hunter. This is Somerville playing it through, but Kennedy's there to provide the cover. But Dave Riley making life difficult for the big centre back and his goalkeeper. Playing it through, but it's a poor one. Patterson for Tayport. This is Hunter. The flag has gone up, an offside decision, and the free kick to Glenafton. It's a minute of injury time played in this first half. Clearance from Fraser Mann, and that's a free kick awarded to Glenafton against Dave Riley. We played almost 2 minutes of injury time. Alan Rennie, it's a high one forward. There goes the half-time whistle. Well, disappointing first half, but Tayport certainly very fortunate to survive a penalty claim against Mark Spalding. The half-time score here at Firhill, Glenafton 0, Tayport 0.